Monday mornings can be an absolute drag. For most people, the first thing they do after getting ready for work is grab a cup of coffee. Coffee is one of the most popular drinks for Americans to boost their energy and start their day. Good evening, Dr. Council, fellow classmates, and friends. My name is Casey Moran, and today I will be informing you of the positive and negative effects caffeine has on your body. Today you will learn how caffeine affects the central nervous system, digestive system, skeletal, muscular, and circulatory system. Before we dive into the effects that caffeine has on the body, we should take a look at the history of caffeine and its role in society. According to Olson, the history of caffeine in America starts with the introduction of coffee and teas in the United States in 1670, when the first American coffee trader was granted a license to sell coffee in Boston. Caffeine is a plant alkaloid found in over 60 different species of plants. In nature, it acts as a pesticide that actually paralyzes and kills insects. The world's primary source of caffeine is the coffee bean, with each bean containing a different concentration of caffeine level. Caffeine can also be found in tea leaves, usually at half the concentration of a coffee bean. The early history of caffeine comes from Ethiopia, where they noticed the restlessness of goats after they ate the beans of caffeine plants. Fast forward to the 1800s, where a French American named Pascal opened the first coffee house. Today, coffee is consumed at a rate of 120,000 tons annually, making it the most popular psychoactive drink on the market. 90% of all Americans consume coffee or some form of caffeine. Now that we have an understanding of the history of caffeine, we can take a look into the effects it has on one's body. First, we will look at the central nervous system. According to the Mayo Clinic, it's safe for most healthy adults to consume up to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day. Caffeine reaches your brain quickly and will give you a boost of alertness. It is commonly used in medications to counteract the drowsiness. Many people take caffeine to treat headaches, but sometimes too much caffeine can actually cause a headache. There's a fine balance between the dosage. Drinking caffeine on an empty stomach or even having too much can cause a few problems with your central nervous system. The most common effects from caffeine are jitters. Drinking too much can cause you to experience hallucinations and confusions. In extreme cases, overdose can lead to death due to convulsions. After caffeine takes over your central nervous system, it begins the trip through the digestive system. Caffeine will enter your stomach, initially raising the acid of your stomach content. This process will cause heartburn or an upset stomach, usually alleviated by eating a neutral or base substance on the pH scale. According to Refeto, coffee is highly acidic and it can stimulate the hypersecretion of gastric acids. Caffeine works as a diuretic. This means it will begin to flush water out of your body. Many bodybuilders use caffeine, low water intake, and exercise to obtain a dry look on stage. With water loss comes cramping, so it's important to stay hydrated while using caffeine. When a user stops using caffeine, withdrawals set in. Some may experience excessive urination, thirst, nausea, or vomiting. Finally, let's take a look at the direct effects caffeine has on your circulatory, skeletal, and muscular systems. Caffeine is instantly absorbed through your stomach and peaks within 1 to 2 hours of consumption. Your blood pressure is soon to spike for a short time while caffeine sits in your body. It is always a good idea to dilute caffeine intake. According to Medscape, at high concentrations, caffeine interferes with the uptake and storage of calcium. Large amounts of consumption can cause osteoporosis. This is the inability to absorb and metabolize calcium. Without that ability, your bones will begin to thin. When it comes to the effect caffeine has on muscles, too much can cause twitching. This is due to water being sucked from the body. When it comes to caffeine consumption, always keep in mind the effects it may have on your body, especially in the central nervous system, circulatory, digestive, and skeletal system. Caffeine by in no way is bad, but it should be used responsibly. Make sure you are always aware of the amount of caffeine you are consuming. This will ensure you never suffer from any of the side effects from caffeine. Thank you for allowing me to inform you of the effects of caffeine on your body.
Woo!